No, he's in his twilight years now, so I think he kind of I think he doesn't give a shit. I think his whole thing is like, the internet is making everything, so much worse than it actually is. He's like, look outside your door.
It's called comedy podcasts.
Yeah, 15 years ago. Yeah,
it's called us, dude. He's talking about us.
He was like, not everyone's supposed to be talking. Not everyone's supposed to have everything. And I'm like, true.
Yeah. We said that. I think it was to Kat Timp, who's a Fox News host. But
I know her.
It was like the only time I ever felt like we've ever gotten pushback. We're like, free speech, probably too many people have it. And she's like, well, I don't know about that. Yeah. It was more of a joke than anything.
Yeah.
But
I kind of believe it.
I'm all for making every form of social media. I'm all for making it like $30 a month. Yeah. I'm all for keeping it high. Or I'm also all for, even if it would destroy my own ticket sales, I'm all for banning it. I'm all for get rid of it. Yeah. I'm all for that because I kind of want to go back to the way it was. Like, I find myself thinking about what 2010 was like so much in my life, where I'm like, I had nothing. Yeah. I was like, but this way, I don't know everything that's going on. I'm not taking in news all day.
Like you took a good social media break for a while.
I did, and then I slowly crept back because it'll get you, dude.
Yeah, and especially if you start to see like I feel like, all of a sudden, if work starts to not go as well, you're like, well, I got to do what I got to do.
That's how I felt.
And that's the same. That's, I think, our version of like going to work every day and eating shit from your boss that like a billion Americans do to make their paycheck.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I would love to not be on social media, but I don't keep up with the times. I'm not making as much content. I'm not as relevant. I don't, you know what I mean? And it all just snowballs.
I wish that if there's one thing like that, like the guys that made it before, the guys that caked and made all this money, years ago, like in comedy specifically. It's the only thing, I know, like sitcom stars and all that. I'm like, that would be amazing. Yeah. Like, you look at like Ray Romano. I'm sure he doesn't even have 100,000 followers. He doesn't need them. He doesn't care. He's already crushed it. Yeah. I wish I had that. So it's like,
and you were like right there in the grand scheme of like time though.
Yes.
Like if you were just a few years earlier, you could have maybe been that.
But now it's like I know that every generation has shit to deal with, but this like constant influx of information, and you have to do it if you want this career, is tough.
I would wonder though if a guy like Ray Romano was like, are you kidding me? When I was like 25, if I could just put out a post on social media and sell my tickets than doing fucking 6 a.m. radio and blah blah,
That's true.
Like,
there's all give and take
sides to everything.
But I would love to be disconnected. Yeah. I would love to not know what's happening.
When do you think you'll do that?
Well, I thought that's the problem. Is I thought I was there I feel like a drug addict who relapsed, and now I have no confidence because I was out for a year. Yeah. For 1 year, I did not sign into. I had the guy who I have still. By the way, same guy still runs my social media. I just am in it. So there's a lot of times like, hey, we double posted because you told me to post this at 7, but you posted at 3 o'clock because you're insane.
Every 6 months with our guy who's not here right now, I'll go, change the password. Yeah. Change it. I'm out. And then I tell him like, all right, the Mets are making a run. I got to get back in there. Get back in.
When you're in it, are you in it like your comments, your everything, or you're just posting?
So what I will do is I will post, but then I'll stay on it for like the first 10, 15 minutes, and I'll start commenting back to people, like whatever, getting involved, and like just do 15 minutes, but then 15 minutes will turn into 30, and I'll stop posting, and then I'll start reading an article, and then I'll, start, you start looking at your messages, then you start going on other social media apps, and you're like, you know what, just put it down, and then you're like, oh, but you know what, my meditation app is on my phone. So let me go put that on.
Isn't that funny? You need a fucking app to meditate.
So it's like it just fully gets you at all times, and I hate it, and I it's one of those things where it's like the lung doctor that's like, don't smoke, as there's they know all the but then they're fucking dying of lung cancer because they're smoking.
Yeah, I've heard it, like we've said it. Everyone said it forever, that like it's addiction. And I always thought we were just kind of being dramatic as people, right. And then but like I don't really use it, and I use it, but I don't really look at anything. And like I'll like be talking to people here, I'm like, well, just don't look at stuff, and they're like, I literally can't. Yeah. I'm like, oh, maybe it is actual addiction.
It is. No. It's like I used to. Not judge, but I used to, I had a friend say it to me like this once. He was like, he was like alcoholic, right? And alcohol, I always, my whole life, I could just take it or leave it. I didn't care. I was like, whatever. I drink, don't drink, it doesn't matter. It didn't have like a power over me. And then, but he was an alcoholic, got in recovery, whatever. And then I was like, like all that time, couldn't you just like not drink? And he's like, well, you know how you love sweets and muffins and like you need a chocolate chip muffin every day of your life? I was like, yeah. He was like, imagine I told you that muffin every day was, you couldn't have it. What would you do? I was like, I wouldn't want to live. He's like, that was alcohol.
Bro, the sugar, we always talk about this. The sugar might be the worst.
Dude, it was like alcohol.
Bro, I wake up every morning being like, I'm not going to do it tonight. And then the night rolls around and I put on like a movie and I'm like, yo, I got to have a snack. Bro, but I cannot stop myself.
And sugar's the same. I'm heard it might be worse for you like biologically than alcohol is. Yeah. But so I was like, oh, so that's what it is with social media too. Some people, like, dude, there's people who grew up who are of our age that they're just not addicted to the phone and they just are not. They just are not. And I don't know why I am, but I am.
I think the field you work in.
I was gonna say because all of my real, like not real friends, everyone's my real friend, but not everyone.
Are they
real people?
Like all my friends I grew up with, none of them like use social media.
They have it. Maybe they look here and there. They like post their kids, like some other kids' photos, but they're not like
There is something too about like that, just having like I got a 9 to 5. I have a begin date and an end date.
Oh, it's the best.
That's my career. Whereas, we do, we're like, I don't know.
Also, there's
it's just open-ended. I'm always at
schedule
work.
Called me the other day, and they're like, when are you free? I'm like, I don't know. Just call me when you're ready. If I'm on a podcast, I won't answer. If I'm doing something, I won't answer.
I'll call you back in an hour, pretty much.
Just call me when you call me.
I also think there's something too when you've been lucky enough to have some success. It's like the sky is kind of the limit.
Yeah.
So it's like every minute you're not working, you're not growing. Like if you're just like, I'm not smart enough to like be the head of the hedge fund.
Right.
I can like trade or whatever. I can have this job, but with the internet and this shit, it's like the dumbest of the dumb, the luckiest of the lucky can go. So it's like every time you're not working, I'm kind of like, well, maybe I should be because...
That's an American thing, though, because like people in England, like when I was doing shows over there in England, they couldn't... I mean, it happens, but like if I would like sold out a show and then added one, a lot of the comments like, why would you add one?
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's more money. I'm here, but everything. Yeah, but don't you want to like go to dinner like after the show? Or don't you want to just like enjoy...
Life?
And then because it's not... Because, over there,
and
it's
then
like...
you add the second show and you're mad, you're upset the second show's not selling.
Of course.
And it's like, I should be happy the first show sold out.
Yeah.
But I'm mad that the second show's half empty.
We don't celebrate the wins because America's more and more and more. So it's like, how do you, I don't know how, I got to bring a British attitude to American life.